G'day YouTube, it's Turbo Tristan, and you might be familiar with my carbon fiber Civic Bois. Well, today we are talking Aero. That's right, Bois is getting some Aero, and we're doing an undertray in the front. And this is no ordinary undertray. This is a CFD design carbon fiber undertray. We're not going to put any heavy planks of wood under the front of my car. We're going all out with some Keiachi carbon fiber front undertray. I hope you guys are G'd up because I'm super G'd up. This is the most premium, most top shelf part I think I've got on my entire car now. So let's jump into the video and I'll show you what we're doing. Welcome back to the channel, and as you just heard, we are doing a carbon front splitter on my EK Civic. But full disclosure guys, this lip that I'm getting from Keiachi Carbon is a sponsored part. So Jared, who you'll meet soon, he reached out to me. He wanted to show me his products. I was blown away about how amazing they were, and just a meet and greet, friend of a friend. Man, I gotta tell you, he makes some top shelf stuff. That was the extent of it. A few weeks later, he asked me if I would do a video for him because this is a new business, it's a new startup. I jumped at the chance because, as you can see behind me, and we'll go over this more in detail later on. Now, I didn't get this for free, but I got it heavily discounted. This is a premium product. I just wanted to be honest with you guys and let you guys know that I did pay for this front lip, but it is mostly sponsored, and you're gonna get my honest opinion, my honest feedback on the lip and everything about the quality of it and the finish. I paid my own money for it, so I can tell you guys straight up what I think of this lip. Anyway, back to the video. Hope you're as G'd up as I am. So here we are with Jared. Jared is the big man, the boss of Keiachi Carbon. So Jared, tell us a bit about yourself.
Hey, my name is Jared. I started this little business making carbon fiber aero parts that are CFD tested, and we're just putting one on Tristan's Civic today.
How long have you been doing this, and how did you get started, and what's your background as far as making aero parts?
I've been doing this for I started with composites about 3 years ago. I worked at a local shop in Bayswater called Horsch Carbon. That was a lot of fun, but we were just making like lip kits and side skirts, that sort of thing. Nothing really functional. And when I did my first track day, I just felt like everything I was making was so silly, you know, and it was like, doesn't actually have any positive effect on the track, and everything was so expensive out there. So I was like, I'll give it a shot making it myself. And one thing led to another, and it just like consumed my life essentially, and I just like became obsessed. I got CFD help from Nelson Phillips on YouTube. He's got quite a big YouTube channel. Yep. And I watched a lot of his videos before like starting to make stuff. Reached out to see if he was happy to help me work through some CFD stuff, and this is kind of the result. Yeah. Let's
get this straight. You worked for a guy making carbon fiber parts. Yeah. They're all mostly what, dress up parts?
Completely, yeah. Just like lips and side skirts and stuff like that.
That's fair enough. We all love carbon. I've got it everywhere. And the dress up parts are cool. So you went to your first track day and you realized that dress up parts don't help you go fast. They don't provide you with any extra grip, and they don't provide you with any extra downforce. So you thought, hey, I want to make carbon fiber parts that help you at the racetrack. And I guess, would that be fair to say that's where your passion for building these came from?
100%. Like, I did my first track day at Sandown like a couple of years ago, and I just like became hooked, and I was like, wow, that's what I want to be making. So I just started making it because I couldn't afford it, essentially.
So you do a bit of track stuff. What sort of car do you have, and what sort of parts have you made for your own car?
I have just a Toyota 86 naturally aspirated, so it doesn't do these parts justice. As my composite work and like my design got better, I felt like there was a mismatch, so I started putting it on other cars, like the Cosmic Performance Time Attack car. We're working on Michael Garland's World Time Attack car. I'm really looking forward to that. We've got something pretty insane coming for his car.
So that's World Time Attack. So the best of the best, fastest circuit cars in the world, this guy's making aero parts for them. And I'm gonna put one of these on my Civic. World Time Attack quality. Enough about Jared. Let's talk about what we're doing to my car. So for those of you that are new or that don't know, this is it's now a track car. It started as a street car, it's now a track car. It's my K-swapped EK. And we've got a carbon lip, we've got carbon guards, we've got carbon bonnet, carbon roof, carbon rear door, carbon trunk or boot lid. Everything is about the track and it's super duper lightweight. And that all comes from PIYESA Hub, another buddy of mine. But now we're going to stick on an Undertray from Keiachi Carbon. So let's take a trip back in time to a couple of weeks ago when Jared came out and he 3D scanned my Civic. Now you'll see here we've 3D scanned the front of the car, the front lip that's already on the car, and under the car, the wheel wells, and just all the clearance we had from the wheels and tires. And this is the result, a computational fluid dynamics designed splitter. Now this is going to generate a ton of downforce, not a metric ton. We'll talk about the numbers later on, but heaps and heaps of downforce. And it's designed in such a way, which we'll flip it over in a minute, that these areas here inside the wheel well actually flick up the air straight into my brake ducts, which I already have fitted. So that's going to help with cooling as well as air moving under the car and downforce on the lip as well. So grip, downforce, air, cooling, all in one. I'm going to flip this over, but before I do, just check out the finish on this. This is like Koenigsegg quality right here. You can see an actual mirror of my car underneath. All right, so this is the other side, and this is actually the part where all the magic happens. You'll see this is a radius all the way around, and it's a slightly different finish. This is the bit we're not too worried about getting scratched up because you're not going to see it, it's underneath the car. And we've got these little pucks on here. Is that what they're called?
Yeah, pucks, yeah.
Pucks, and what are they made out of?
These are stainless steel, but I also have them available in titanium.
Titanium.
Which will lighter and they'll spark when they hit the ground, so it just looks cool.
You put these on all your ones, or is this an option?
No, these are all, they come standard with the pucks, yeah.
Yep.
So everything, and it comes with hardware as well. Just mounting hardware, but no brackets, because yeah, it's usually each car's unique typically. So you just get the splitter and some Aero washers and some bolts to go through it, and yeah.
Awesome. So that's universal fitment, I guess, for any car. Now that you've come and 3D scanned an EK Civic, you guys can slide into Jared's DMs, and if you want one, if you are a serious Honda boy and you're a serious track guy, you want one of these, just hit him up on Facebook, Instagram, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I just really wanted to take a minute to really appreciate all the work that's gone into this. This is handmade by Jared in his little home studio. All right, so we're going to fit these up, and luckily for me, Jared's actually a professional, awesome dealer in Australia. So these are specific mount kits for the Honda Civic chassis. These are already made up. They will basically bolt straight on. We'll check the instructions, but basically bolts on where your factory tow hooks go. And then you just mount this to the wing, comes with all the hardware. They make a bunch of kits for a whole lot of different cars, real popular models like the Civic. So this is a straight off the shelf part. If you want some of these mounts or any professional awesome parts, hit up Jared. He'll provide you with these parts and also look after you with the shipping as well. So free shipping Australia-wide for professional awesome parts. So we're going to mount these up to the car and get this all sorted and dummied out. And we're going to mark where we need to drill holes. We're going to cut twice and measure once. So we're going to have hot cheese. This is going to look like Swiss cheese. Just kidding. No, we're going to take our time with this because...
Cut twice, I like it.
Don't scratch it. Jared and I have finished fitting up the front splitter. I think I might just run the car with no bumper because it looks way cooler without one. But all jokes aside, this professional awesome mounting kit was a dream, and this all fits up and clears everything. One thing I'm really, really happy with, and I've mentioned this in previous videos about this car, is the need for the flat floor here to make sure the air goes through the radiator and out the hood vent rather than under the car and up in this pocket here. We want to seal off the bottom of the floor. So where this ends up here is right at the back of the sump, I can still access the drain, and we have clearance here. And one other thing we did, which I'll show you later on, is we fitted some gold tape to that just so there's no heat affecting the carbon finish from the sump or the clutch. Just worked out absolutely perfect, even with the brake ducts. Now, that is the bonus of Jared doing the 3D scan. He scanned it with the wheels on and the brake ducts on. We've managed to clear this section here, so that's not going to interfere. And same on the other side, obviously. So that looks really, really good. And we've actually got carbon rods, again for lightweight, but also strength. They will flex and wobble. So if we do bang the lip at any point, it will have a little bit of flex and wiggle room there. If we touch any ripple strips or anything like that, this is going to give us just enough flex and enough stretch. Plus it's super duper strong and lightweight. And the other bonus is it all hides behind the front bar. We didn't have to add any brackets or do any custom fab. Literally just drill a hole in the crash bar and then drill a hole in the carbon fiber splitter, and then cut to measure, and then do these up, and then it sort of finds its own comfortable resting place, and then that is all sorted there. So in my opinion, that was quite an easy install, quite effective. It looks super cool. If I ever want to just check for oil leaks, I just pop the bumper off and just look in the mirror here, and it just shows me anything up underneath the car. Don't even have to get down on my hands and knees. So she's super strong. We're just going to get Jared to test it out. He's hanging off it, and yeah, not even flexing. I reckon that will do the job as far as downforce in the front end goes. And while we're up at this angle, you can actually see the profile here and the curvature. Look at that. And then all on this angle, it sort of starts from about here and just gently curves up there all the way around this radius there. So yeah, a little rounded at the bottom and then dead flat, dead straight on the top, like literally like glass. And then underneath, suss that out. And one thing that's really cool is even the pucks are like little NACA Aero design, just to move the air around.
One thing, yeah, with the pucks actually, the reason I kind of shaped the front is I had a concern with pucks is if you go off track and you go into the dirt, digging in. So I wanted it to be kind of like a sled.
Yep.
So we can kind of
they got that sled profile.
Yeah.
There you can see. So these are ones that you've made and designed, or?
Yeah, I designed them, but I don't see them here.
Even if you are under heavy braking and the front of the car dips down, the last thing you want is these digging into the tarmac, scraping out the track and ruining it for everyone else, but also catching the front of your car in it. So this will just hit it and, you know, worst case, it's just going to leave some scrape marks, not going to take gouges out of the racetrack for everyone else.
Let's do it. Take it to the hoop, push through it. Get to it. Showstopper, you the champ. Let's do it. Moving state to state, I'ma show you.
So this is the track day front splitter without the end plates. It's kind of a smaller size. When to start considering a front splitter? I would say, short answer, if you have a rear wing, having a front splitter to balance out the aero is great. As a rule of thumb, your aero balance should be the same as your weight distribution. Most front engine cars are about 60-40. 60% of your downforce at the front and 40% of your downforce at the rear. So your aero balance should be about the same ratio. So 60 front, 40 rear. So typically people will just jump straight into a rear wing. That's great. It also adds stability to your car if you're worried about oversteer. Your car's maximum lateral grip is essentially defined by your weakest axle. If your car tends to oversteer, adding a front splitter is actually the last thing you want to do.
Right.
If your car is understeering generally, a front splitter can help a lot. In terms of lap time gain, I've personally seen two seconds at Winton, but obviously I'm biased. I'm the person making these. Like maybe I drive a little bit harder when I got my stuff in the car. Sydney Composites, obviously a different splitter, different level, but they found about 2 seconds, 2.5 seconds on certain cars as well.
With a front splitter, how important is the angle? What's a good angle? What's a bad angle? For just intermediate, you know, every Joe Blow, how would you set up your front splitter roughly?
To oversimplify it, just aim for 1 degree. It's not too much and it's not too little. The only time you can really mess it up is if it's angled upwards. Yep. Other than that, slight angle downwards is what you're aiming for, yeah. A
lot of people and a lot of track guys that I know personally and that I ask advice of when I'm trying to set my car up to go quicker at the racetrack would tell me, you know, don't worry about a front splitter, get better at driving, better seat time. A rear spoiler is going to help you a lot. You don't need to worry about a front splitter, you know, just yet. And from the research I've done, I kind of agree with them. This mod for me is not necessary because I don't have a wing.
100%, yeah.
Yep.
I would say, yep, go on.
No, what were you going to say?
I would say, since you did tell me your car does tend to understeer a little bit, it will help you. It might help a bit too much and you might find a little bit of instability now. So I would say I would really recommend a rear wing to balance that out. Yeah, so currently with the LSD and everything and the type of tires I'm running, my car still does understeer, and that's, from what I can tell, is 2 reasons. The first one is I'm not driving it hard enough yet. I'm still learning the car's limits, and I'm still getting seat time under my belt. And the other reason is I think I'm not using super duper sticky tires. I've experienced oversteer in a front wheel drive car, and it's one thing that I want to do next is put a wing on the back to push the back down. At Sandown, which is the track I mostly go to, it's 2 really long straights and they're very high speed. The back straight has a bit of a hill and then you go down and it really unsettles the back of the car. And I feel like a wing for me is my next mod that I need. So honestly, this mod is not what I need, but it might be what you need. If you've already done everything else, you've done a wing, you've done all the other under trays and everything like that, the front splitter is the next step for you. For me, like I said, this is a sponsored video, so you've got one now.
I've got one now, so I've got to pull my finger out and get a rear wing, which is that's going to push me to do that, and some grippier tires. My good buddy Zach Baldy, who I know is going to watch this because he's a mad track guy, we made out of wood a front splitter for his car, and we bolted on a big carbon wing on the back of his Integra Ronald. And even though it doesn't make any power, it's a weak as B series and K is the way, but we were able to pretty much go flat through a lot of corners with pushing the back of the car down into the ground. So really getting grip and in the back end. And then with the front splitter on, I didn't drive it with that on, but Zach said just cornering was amazing in that. So he has both of those things. I need to do that next. So there's going to be guys watching this. Grant, I know you're one of them, and you advised me to, get good first and then go a rear wing, better tires, then a front splitter. Trust me, I know, but opportunity, premium, this is like the bee's knees best stuff you can get. I wasn't going to say no. So that's where we're at with that one. As far as the setup goes on the splitter, heights of rear wings I know change the way they hit the air and stuff. Does it make any difference on the front of the car when you have it really high or really low?
It really makes a huge difference. For when we did CFD cases of this splitter, we found at 75 mil versus 50 mil ground clearance. At 50 mil we saw a 25% increase in downforce from 75 mil. So it's a huge increase. So I would recommend, if people have a wooden splitter, just try lower it a little bit first. Go as low as you can practically go without it like scraping absolutely everywhere.
Yep.
Before you consider upgrading. Yeah, just try and make it a bit lower. Yeah.
Let's just say you're just starting out at the track, circuit stuff. You want to mess around with Aero and you can't afford a carbon front lip or carbon wing, and you want to make like either wooden or alloy under trays and a wooden front lip, which like most people do. I know a lot of guys racing in GLTC, which is what I follow. Right. They make wooden ones. Yeah. You got any advice for any people that can't afford a carbon lip, and how would 100%. They go about it? You
always want to round the leading edge to keep your flow attached. That's why we've done it here, obviously. And then again, it's also not the end of the world if you don't. I think people always think it has to be like perfectly shaped, or honestly, like a flat piece of wood does work. So it makes sense that people go for that.
This is a massive front splitter. What is this for? This looks like it's about to take off.
It looks like it, yeah, it does. The main difference between this one and the one on your car now is obviously the size, and we have end plates on this one, and the foam core is 5 mil thicker, which equates to about like 2 times stiffer. So it makes a huge difference in the stiffness, because if people are pushing like 1,000 horsepower, stiffness is a really big deal. And obviously the end plates create a lot of leverage on the far outside where there's no support typically. So,
so this shape here, where that comes around and then that goes up, like what's the story with that?
The job of end plates is essentially to seal, to separate the low pressure from the high pressure on top. If you have it bleeding over the edge or around the splitter, it has a negative impact on performance. So that's why we made these end plates. The reason I have this shaped out here is to kind of do, so it does double duty. There's 2 barriers that the air has to swoop around before the high pressure can get to the low pressure zone on the bottom. So there's a barrier here blocking the high pressure on the top, and this is meant to stop, the lower part of the end plate is meant to stop air from seeping in from the sides.
If someone's already got the shape and got the outline or got a scan of their car and they want to make a wing, or they've just got a wooden one that they want to turn into carbon fiber, can you make them a front splitter?
100%. It can be a physical template or even a digital one. I'll get the outline, put it in CAD. I'll add all the profiling to it. By adding the profile in CFD, we've found about a 60% increase in downforce for a splitter of a similar size compared to if it was just flat. So the profiling does help a lot.
So now that the splitter is all mounted up, Jared's hung off it, I just want to show you guys how easy it is to access and use these professional awesome mounting brackets. All I'm going to have to do when I get to the track, when I take it off the trailer, because I'll obviously take this off when I go on the trailer, is pull the pins out at the front. So try not to lose those. And then it's just a matter of pulling this little guy out as well. And then it's flicking the little switch on the side, and then it just drops straight down. And then putting it in is just the reverse of that. Bang. And then take your pin. And then click that in place. So really, really easy. And then I just throw the front bar on, or I could even reach around and just pull these little R-clips out and flip the switch with the front bumper on.
Yeah, you could do that with the wheels off or something like that.
Yeah, it should be relatively easy. Famous last words, but honestly, it's really just 2 points each side, on and off. I'm not under there, there's no tools, so I'm not under there with any tools. And yeah, at lunchtime I can use it as a table and eat my sandwiches from here. It's cool. And this guy just can't stop hanging off.
It's so fun. I always stand on my one at the end, yeah.
I don't want to put dirty boot prints on this really, really nice piece.
I take my shoes off when I do it, just for fun, yeah.
So I'm going to stick the bar on and get the car outside so we can take some really sexy shots of it outside. So I'll do that now and I'll show you in a second what it looks like. All right, let's go check this thing out with the splitter and all its aero so far. There is more to come, but all its aero so far. And before anyone says anything and roast me, I know there's a big gap there in between the splitter and the bar. I'm going to get some foam and I'm going to make a little air dam that goes in between that so that when I click the splitter up, it'll seal that gap. But for now, we just got it done freshly, so don't kill me right this second. It's going to get fixed, but check that out.
People were jumping on the keyboards already, I could hear it.
Yep, I can hear those keys clacking away. Clack, 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 clack. You didn't put any foam in there. The air can get through it. Man, I reckon that's like 65 mil. That's like 60% extra downforce.
60% extra for 60 mil.
Man, look at that. Plenty of clearance inside there for the wheels and tires. I can go wider, I can go bigger, I can go smaller. Just plenty of clearance. Got the side skirts on.
And
Got
No rear wing.
No rear wing. What I'm saying is, if anyone makes rear wings, help a brother out. That's all I'm missing, really. Be a begging YouTuber and just ask for more free stuff. Just kidding, I'll pay. Just, I need a wing, hook me up. But yeah, she is looking fresh. Looking very fresh. Some people might be wondering like what class I can race this in and all that sort of stuff. This is just TT track spec, Turbo Tristan, not TT racing, tin top. Just a front splitter for extra aero, extra downforce, extra grip in the front end. It's not made to any category, although Jared can do that if it needs to be and if you want it to be. So hit him up. Where can we find you? How do we contact you?
I have a website, Keiichi Carbon, and just Instagram and Facebook, Keiichi Carbon. Yeah.
So Keiichi Carbon on both, and I'll get it from the back, mate. Spin around.
Oh shit! I thought you were talking about the
So
car.
Keiichi Carbon, Instagram, Facebook, and KeiichiCarbon.com.
.au.
.au. So that's going to be right here.
That's a lot. Hit the gas, ain't no brakes, don't stop.